Hello everyone and welcome to the new episode of the QuailVLOG. I'm Mike and this week's episode is going to be really disappointing for people who are a fan of Babylon 5. So let's get some caveats out of the way. First of all, I am not a Trekkie at all. I'd like to point out that the other caveat is that there's nothing wrong with being a Trekkie. Throughout your life, you're going to find people that are going to prey on those who love really, really nerdy shit. And if you love Star Trek, if people make you feel bad about that, then fuck them. Only don't actually fuck them. That would be bad. But getting back to the topic at hand, Deep Space Nine. I get in conversations with people all the time about which is the best Star Trek. I think for obvious reasons, Captain Jean-Luc Picard. People go straight to the Next Generation. But here's my thing. Deep Space Nine tackles a bunch of socio-political issues that I don't feel like the other series sort of nailed as well. Like, let's face it, the entire Bajoran situation is reminiscent of the Holocaust, separation of church and state, Israel. Like, there's a bunch of issues that go into this. I don't necessarily think that people tuning into the newest Star Trek were ready for that. The premise is that there is a space station, the station's called Deep Space Nine, that Starfleet is sent in to more or less help rebuild the government of the people that live there. They're from a planet called Bajor, which is something that they never seem to pronounce consistently throughout the show. Major Kira always pronounces the planet name wrong. It's really weird. She's supposed to be from it. They've been occupied for the last 50 plus years by this crazy dictatorial alien race called the Cardassians. Unlike every other Star Trek, which involves getting on a spaceship and flying off to, boldly go where no one has ever gone except for all the other times that they've gone there. This time you have a stationary location. They get around that in a couple of different ways. Like, they have shuttlecraft and they, go off and do adventures and things like that. But for the most part, everything is centralized around this station. But they can still keep the exploration idea of Star Trek. What makes this station special is that it's parked right near this magical wormhole that goes to another side of the galaxy that they've never been to. You get a lot of the roots of Star Trek, like the first contact with alien species, despite the fact that, again, it's set on a stationary station. Now, while there is aspects of the sort of mystery of the week, monster of the week, alien race of the week, anomaly of the week that makes Star Trek so famous, this series had a really good overarching plot line, very serialistic in that regards, that hadn't really been done by other Star Treks. It also really focuses on character development. Two of the most prominent writers from the show, Ronald Moore and Jane Espenson, went on to do things like Battlestar Galactica. If you've seen BSG all the way through, you can definitely see some of the callbacks to ideas that they had first tinkered with in DS9. They didn't feel like they could sell it by its own merits, so the first episode not only has Picard and the Enterprise dock there and set off the entire series of events, but also you get Miles O'Brien, everyone's favorite, transport guy from the Enterprise, who's now in charge of engineering for all of... How did the transport guy basically get Geordi's job on a space station? O'Brien's great. And actually, all the characters are great. Like, they're very well written. If you don't get moved to tears by the performance of Avery Brooks as Captain Benjamin Sisko, then you probably won't like this series at all. Jess and I were talking about this the other night. He's often at another level, so sometimes the show actually kind of suffers because he's such a good actor and he fucking nails it. And then you have these other people that are like, I am a one-part guest actor. I am reading my line. Major Kira is just like a total badass, and she's the Bajoran first officer. Politically weird because the Federation person shouldn't have someone that's not Federation as their first officer. Now, she's no climbing over chairs backwards in a weird way Riker, but she's got her own badass things. Except for when they had the weird parallel universe things with her in the Dominatrix outfit. That was really strange. Other characters I would love to give a shout out to. Gul Dukat is a phenomenal character, and Garrick the Tailor, played by Andrew Robinson from Dirty Harry. Garrick is probably one of the best television characters I think I've ever seen written. He's not in every episode, but when he is, you're going to have a good time. And despite the fact that the Ferengi storylines are really, really hard to parse, Armin Shimmerman's portrayal of Quark is fantastic. It's really compelling acting. And another fun fact is that it started while Next Generation was still running. It ended midway through Voyager. So there was 3 consecutive Star Treks sort of happening in a period of time there. There's a bunch of different ways to watch Deep Space Nine online. I know that Amazon Prime has at least a couple of seasons, and you can buy the entire show on iTunes. The Babylon 5 joke from earlier was just a thing about how both shows kind of happened around the same time, and they both were shows that focused around a space station. There's a lot of people that are very passionate about which one they feel like is better, and there's a lot of hate. And hate is a waste of energy. I like my show. You like yours. Let's be friends. One thing I'm going to try to do pretty much with this vlog in general is rarely talk about things I don't like. I might say I like something better than something else, but I really don't feel like it's necessary to devote an entire section of the internet to this sucks and this is why. So I'm just going to jump right into our next section, which is what I call the song of the vlog, where I pick a song by a band that we in some way are connected with that I want to share with you because it's wonderful. And this week's song of the vlog is Silver Gates by Paladin Shield. Paladin Shield is the new project of our buddy Jesse, who's best known for his work in Thousand Needles, and he helps run 8-Bit LA. They write amazing chip rock. If you're unfamiliar with chip rock, the concept is that part of the sound comes from a video game console or old computer hardware or something, in this case a Nintendo Game Boy, and guitars and bass and drums and everything happens on top of that. Silver Gates is a beautiful song. They just put out their new EP, and they are a fantastic group. There's going to be links somewhere. You need to check them out. Like, it's just really good. I think feel-good music is the best way to describe it. I get that chiptune and chip rock is not for everybody. Some people don't have the same nostalgia feelings of the Game Boy the way that I do. But on the same token, I sort of believe that music is transcendent. You just fucking said that, didn't you? And that like a good melody and a good series of like music behind said melody can just really move you regardless. And because the main subject of this episode didn't tie into the song of the vlog, we're going to bring it all back right now. As far as the band goes, we're about to play 8-Bit LA presents FreqFestNorcal. For the record, Freq is spelled with a Q. It's short for frequency because, you know, Game Boy's audio frequencies. Frequency is a music festival that's usually held down in Los Angeles, put on by 8-Bit LA, that features several days of lots of different bands, and the thing that ties all of them together is music made with outdated video game or computer hardware is part of the sound. So you've got some people that are straight up just, you know, like they do Game Boy and DJ, and then you've got full-on bands that incorporate chiptune, like us, or Paladin Shield, or Slime Girls, or Crash Faster, or all these other bands that are playing. They decided to try an event in Northern California, bringing all the bands up to play with us at the Art Boutique in San Jose. It's 2 nights, it's about 20-ish bands, and that's September 11th and 12th, right here in San Jose. You can look at the flyer there. There it is. It's going to be a lovely time. And one other major thing that's going to happen relatively soon after this airs. There's this fantastic band called the Protomen. They write like sweeping epic rock operas about Mega Man and other things, but predominantly Mega Man. And they are playing at Slim's in San Francisco on August 25th. And we got asked to play with them. This is huge. Like, this is absolutely huge. This is one of those things where like we would have gone to the show anyway, but now we're gonna be playing. And to top it all off, our friends the Y-Axes are opening. You may remember them as the song of the vlog for the last episode. So, to recap everything, we talked a lot about Deep Space Nine, because it's my favorite Star Trek. We also talked about Paladin Shield, a fantastic chip rock band from Los Angeles, that's coincidentally coming up to play with us here at FreqFest. And we talked about the Protomen. And as always, you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and our music is all over the internet. If you're an iTunes person, you can find us. If you're more of a Spotify person, hey, we're there. If you prefer to get directly from us, we will mail you a CD. Go to that URL and Aaron will send something to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're done here. Kaboom!